Correct,
viewers lah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So
Thanks for
how's
thanks for
business so
inviting
far?
me. Yeah, thanks for
No worries,
inviting
thanks.
me first. Yes,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, on behalf of Ascent Islamic, I mean, we are pleased to actually invite lah you, Helmi from Takaful.sg. So I think this is your it's gonna be your first IG live as well, right? I believe.
Yes,
So
yes,
lah.
yes. I'm totally clueless about IG.
uh,
So before going live with Hefni, right, I was asking him, okay, how to go live with you? The phone position, is it horizontal or vertical? How is it?
yeah, bro. But anyway, I mean, for myself, also quite new for me lah. It's only my third time lah, I think, or fourth time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. Still quite adapting to this IG live stuff. But
Yeah,
you for yourself, I think you are more pro because I know you always do Facebook Live, right? Correct or not?
Alhamdulillah lah, Facebook Live.
Alhamdulillah.
But for
Yeah.
IG, yeah, because of you lah, Alhamdulillah, I reactivate my account back.
See some of you, Hashim actually say welcome Hilmi. I
Oh,
think some of
thank
your
you, thank
followers
you,
also are inside. Yeah.
thank
So
you,
thanks
thank you.
again, guys. I mean, those who are from Ascent Islamic viewers, followers, and those from Hilmi Hakim's Instagram followers, thanks again for tuning in. So hopefully, inshallah, today we have a topic to actually not really discuss, but more of casually talk about. For both of us coming from ourselves as practitioners in the field. So the topic, hopefully, inshallah, we aim to actually just bring awareness and try to answer some questions from you guys, and hopefully keep the questions coming. Inshallah, we try to answer as much as we can lah. Yeah.
Yes, inshallah, inshallah.
Okay, so I think we can actually start. I mean, it's 5 past. It's about 9:50 already. So okay. So to start with, I mean, we have yourself who is actually kind of an experienced practitioner in the field, I should say. And then
Alhamdulillah.
I know you know some of the guys from Ascent Islamic, myself, Hashim, and we are on the same page in terms of we just want to bring financial literacy as a fundamental importance to actually our community. It
Yes,
doesn't have
yes.
to be just on the Muslim community, but I think generally as a citizen of a first world country, right? I
Yes,
mean, with
yes,
a high standard of living, high cost of
yes,
living.
yes.
So macam this is a very informal way to actually
Yeah.
share beyond our normal daily routines lah. So
Mm,
what is the opening atau what you wanna say for your followers on Instagram, or maybe those who are viewing right now? What you wanna share or introduce yourself? Yeah.
yeah,
So share a
Assalamualaikum
bit. Yeah.
everyone. Yeah, I mean for those who first time see me lah again, my name is Helmi Hakim. I'm from Takaful.sg. I specialize in helping Muslim families plan their finance the Sharia compliant way in Singapore, and so that we can live peacefully on this earth and in the akhirah, inshallah. And I also feel great to be with our fellow colleagues here, and like Brother Hefni, and yeah, many others here from Ascent Islamic, because we have the same mission. And the mission for us here is to educate the public itself on the importance of planning our finance the Sharia compliant way, the halal way in Singapore. Of course, Islamic financial planning, it covers many aspects. It's not just insurance per se. You also need to look at your retirement planning. You also need to look at your child's education planning. You need to look at various aspects in terms of Islamic financial planning. And today's session is extra special because why? Because today in the history in our history, right, I mean of my own life and also your life, right, we are facing a special type of crisis here, because this crisis
Yeah.
is different than other type of crisis like the one that happened in the year 2008 2009, at the subprime mortgage crisis, which led to the global
Yeah.
economic crisis, at the 1997 Asian financial crisis, or the 1987 Black Monday. All that, right, are financial crisis. But today, this crisis is extra special. It's extra different. Because why? Because we are facing a health crisis because of
Yep.
this COVID-19 situation. And when Hefni called me, right, I mentioned that he want to do an IG live video. Yeah, and he mentioned about the topic being financially sustainable in a crisis. I think these are topics that touch the hearts of the common men on the street in Singapore. And because the thing here is that, I mean, for yourself or even for myself, for a lot of our clients, right, we are impacted by this COVID-19 situation. And I feel that today's sharing, right, is going to be helpful for a lot of people out there who want to find avenues on ways on how they can be financially sustainable in this crisis. In layman terms, I say financially sustainable means, means your pocket tak koyak lah.
Yes, yes. That's
during
the
during
most
this.
easiest way to put it lah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Your pocket tak koyak. Yeah, you, if you don't know that we are in a crisis right now, yes, we are in a crisis. I mean, if you just read the news, right, Grab employees, right, they are forced to
Mm.
go on no pay leave. And as of
Mm.
today, today is what day? Today is 1st of May, right? As of
Yep. First.
today,
Mm.
Changi Airport Terminal 2, right? And the services was suspended for 18 months, starting
Yeah.
from today.
Yes.
Starting
Correct.
from today. And I think if you read the news, you know that a lot of home-based business, they are affected by these
Yes.
COVID-19 measures because the government has to introduce
Correct.
certain feed-forward controls to prevent the spread of this COVID-19. And a lot of us are affected
Mm.
right now. So that's
Yeah.
why
True.
today's topic is extra special, being financially sustainable in a crisis. And we have to understand this, all right?
Yep.
That this is just like somehow the beginning. Because a lot of my class ask me, Helmi, this
Mm.
COVID-19 crisis, right? How long? How long is it going to take place? Is it before we recover? Right? If you refer to the supplementary budget speech, right, by our Deputy
Yeah.
Prime Minister, Mr. Helmi, he mentioned that, yeah, this crisis will take at least about 12 months. If you refer to the speech by our Foreign Minister, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan in CNBC,
Mm.
he also mentioned
Ah.
about these 12 months. And so for us, right, I mean, for a lot of our clients, you have to ensure that you are financially sustainable within
Yes.
these 12 months. These 12 months, tak boleh koyak lah, kan, your finance
Yeah.
lah. So I think today's session, we are going to discuss more in depth lah, on how to be financially sustainable for this
Yeah.
health crisis. Yeah.
So I think to make it in another aspect, maknanya you can try to see this as something macam we want to be sustainable here. It means basically what I understand by is like how do you actually survive
Yes.
within this 12 months. So it can be more than 12 months. These are
Yes.
just what we expect. You know, it can be
Yes.
even
Yes.
shorter, it can be longer. So the point here is that being financially sustainable is something fundamentally everyone, whether or not, like you mentioned, you are affected through your income, or for those who are even retrenched in a way lah. So whether or not even if your income is still okay, you are not affected, still is something that actually everyone have to realize that this crisis actually is something that to teach us that financial literacy is something important for everyone, for anyone. Yeah, so
Exactly.
that's
Correct.
why, as as you mentioned lah, we are here to just give certain tips and also to make to understand better what are actually the problems or the issues that we can try to accommodate, or basically to improve on, so that we don't do the same mistakes last time. Because what I want
Exactly.
to start with
Exactly.
is that when you talk about financial crisis, let's say in the
Yeah.
2008,
Yeah.
we mentioned something yang macam really big lah that point of time. So
Yeah.
if you see, financial crisis will always happen. It's a cycle. Every
Yes.
5 to 10 years, there's going to be one health crisis ke financial crisis. In a sense, if you look deeply into it, it will definitely be affecting our finances in a way or
Exactly.
another,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
what? But now, okay, today is about what can we do currently now, as in
Yes.
right now, and then we're going to talk about for the future, what can we do to plan and prepare. So let's start by, okay, there's this one question. I have actually gathered from some of my clients,
Okay.
especially those who are literally affected in terms of macam, they were earning a certain income. Now, for example, no bonuses at all. And some
Yes.
even
Yes.
they have to take a forced leave of absence. You know,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So they take a leave without pay and stuff like that. So what they ask me is that, hey bro, you are talking about financially sustainable, but now my current income and what I've been feeding my family with is already affected. How to be even sustainable in the first place? You know. So
Yes.
this
Yes.
is, I think, will touch, like you said, a lot of people right now, because the number one question I think is, before we go forward, is that macam we are already in this situation. So how do we actually help ourselves and our family lah? So maybe what I think I start first. Maybe I share a
Yeah.
little bit. So the thing is that I would see this as something not just for those who are affected. In fact, what I've been sharing with my clients and my team also, I think when we are practitioners in the field, we go in a daily basis, we meet our clients, people that we never meet before. The fundamental problem or issue is that massively is that we have, I think, still lacking in terms of a basic money management. You know, we can term it as cash flow management, budgeting, and so on and so forth. So why? Because this is affecting us in terms of when a crisis hits, we are caught red-handed, and we caught red-handed, we are like terkapai-kapai, you know. So,
Betul.
for example, even though, and the next, which leads to the next question, what about, okay, I still don't understand, because even though there's government aids, now we talk about
Yes.
government aids, like now there's all these incentives lah. When I read, for example, those who are affected in terms of salary with at least 30%, they're affected. So for at least consecutive 3 months, they are going to get about $500 per month for 3 months, for example. So the question is, whether or not there's government aid, does it really help or not? Sekarang macam, if I get or if I don't get. So maybe you want to share more. What maybe some of your clients dah pernah go through this currently. What are your advice, or what do you share with them? Yeah.
Okay. For us, right, as Singaporeans, we are very, very lucky to be in Singapore. Because why? Because, like what you mentioned, government of Singapore actually give us Panadol. Panadol to solve our financial headache. But this Panadol, right, that I'm telling you right now, right, is just a temporary measure only. It boils out back to our fundamentals, the fundamentals of how we manage our money. If our fundamentals lari, no matter how much government aid or how much Panadol government is giving tetap koyak juga gitu. Right? So for all my clients, for the people, many people out there, even prior to this crisis, this health crisis that we are facing right now, I already have educate all of them of the importance for them to have an emergency fund. In Malay, right, we call that sediakan payung sebelum hujan.
Yes.
So before
exactly
all
what
this
it means. Exactly.
Yes. Before all this happened, in fact, I have managed personally all my clients' expectation. I told them, when was the last crisis? 2008, 2009, and we all believe on this thing called market cycle. Market cycle happens every 10 years. So I was telling my clients, 2009, right? So plus 10. Should be last year 2019 the recession or what. Now happened today, right? Delayed recession already. So I think you have heard about this concept called the Joseph cycle. 7 years of peace, everything, and then 7 years of drought, all that. And the thing here, what I want to emphasize here is that during the time of peace, during the time of calm, and during the time where you are doing financially okay, and that's the best time for you to save up your money for your emergency fund. And how much emergency funds you need exactly, right? You need at least 3 to 6 months of your monthly emergency expenses. Example, if you spend $2,000 every single month, right? So 3 months times $2,000 a month, you need to have at least $6,000 in your bank account at all times. And this is fundamentals. You must have with government aid or with the Panadol given by Panadol or without the Panadol given, you must have your $6,000 intact. Why? Because if things like what you mentioned just now earlier, if any of us face a pay cut, example, or if any of us suddenly got retrenched due to this COVID-19 situation, at least you got some breathing space. At least 3 to 6 months of breathing space before you can plan your next course of action. We don't want to fall into this trap, this is a Malay proverb, but it's a bit crude, okay? Bukan nak terberak, baru nak siapkan jamban.
Oh, that's very crude, man.
Yes, very crude. But it's real. It's
real. It's real. That's a reality lah.
I mean, if you don't have your emergency funds ready and you come and meet financial consultants like us and seek for help, then for us also, we are at our wit's end on how to assist you further, right? But Alhamdulillah, like again I mentioned, because in Singapore right now, we are very, very lucky because the Singapore government has actually provided us with the Panadol. But Panadol, right, is just to solve our short-term financial issues. I just give some examples of this Panadol that we are getting. I think you are aware, this April, this past 1 month, right? We all Singaporeans, regardless of their income, we get $600 one time for all Singaporeans, regardless of our income. And like just you mentioned also, if you are retrenched or you have your income is affected by COVID-19,
Yep.
you get a one-time $500 temporary relief fund. So
Yeah.
there are certain benefits. Then what
Yeah.
what are the examples? So like example, income tax. Income tax submission, right, extended from 18 April till 31st May. And so
31st
for
May, yeah.
now, yeah, for me now, I haven't even submitted my income tax. I haven't
Yeah.
calculated my
I
allowable
believe a lot of
expenses.
people also not submitted yet lah. Pasal with the ongoing changes, with the crisis. So
Yes.
okay, but the thing is, I want to touch on when you say
Yeah.
emergency funds, right?
Mm.
I share the same sentiments, and that's what I give advice to. My clients, people that I meet, and friends and family. So emergency here, because I don't know, the common understanding of emergency is, for example, I would tell them emergency really means emergency, like unemployment or
Mm-mm.
really pay cut, such that your survival, your necessities are affected. You know,
Mm-mm.
because you have an emergency fund. What I know, some of the clients that I have, they tend to have an emergency, but they call it emergency fund. But the thing is, macam sikit, like they need to use for something, they take out. So there's never a fix. Yeah, so the emergency fund keeps depleting, and then they top up, depleting and top up. So the
Okay,
understanding
okay.
of emergency fund here, I think I just add here is that it's something that you shouldn't touch the emergency fund. It's
Yes, yes.
only really for emergencies, meaning, for example,
Yeah.
especially unemployment. Because
Yes,
when you are
yes.
unemployed, your income does not come in, your basic necessities are affected. You can't support your family even. So I
Correct,
would say
correct.
that macam these things have to be cleared. I mean, everyone has to understand this, is that emergency funds really are something you cannot touch and supposed to be set aside
Exactly.
only for emergencies. And of course,
Exactly.
the keyword I always tell them is that this is
Mm-mm.
about survivability, not luxury.
Yes,
Ya, pasal,
yes.
I mean, again, our community especially, emergency
Mm-mm.
funds, I can tell you, most of us savings also tak ada.
Mm-mm.
Kebanyakan, you have your fair share of experience.
Yes,
Generally
yes.
lah, but now you are talking about emergency funds. So sekarang it
Yes.
still comes back to, I think lah, for myself, I want
Mm-mm.
to touch on the word habit.
Yes, habits,
You know,
yes.
habit. So emergency fund is there only when you have that habit of really committing to the emergency fund and not
Yes.
using it for other purposes except for
Correct.
emergency.
Correct,
Yeah, so
correct.
I agree lah what you said, macam, we have to have this basic fundamental understanding about, obviously, basically basic literacy, financial literacy,
Yes.
so that we
Mm-mm.
don't repeat the same mistakes. I think maybe 10 years later, there's another
Yeah.
crisis. So we don't
Yes,
want to
yes.
be suffering or struggling the same way that we are really struggling right
Correct.
now,
Correct,
So
correct.
it's not really about government aid. It's not
Yes.
whether, government give us everyone $600. So we are happy.
Mm-mm.
Tapi Panadol, like say, short term aja. Lepas tu,
Yes,
if you
yes.
don't even know how to handle $600,
Yes, yes.
walaupun government give you every month 600 ke 1,000, and then the ST
Yeah,
fees,
yeah.
the self-employed kan,
Mm-mm. Yeah,
$3,000
yeah.
lagi.
Correct, correct.
Imagine bro, aku tengok $3,000, that's like, for some it might be a lot. Some people macam, okay, maybe not much. Depends lah. Tapi
Yes,
still, it's
yes.
about how you allocate the $3,000,
Exactly.
into properly managing so that you can last, or you can, I use the word survive, up
Yes,
till
yes.
as long as you can. Pasal
Mm-mm.
if you don't have that habit, you don't have that basic understanding or knowledge,
Mm-mm.
whatever amount you get, incentive ke,
Mm-mm.
atau even basic income, you don't have a habit, you can't last.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
I think you and I, we advise this on
Yeah.
a normal basis lah.
Correct, correct, correct. I
Correct.
totally agree with you lah on the aspect of habit itself lah. Habits. The thing
Hmm.
here is that some people told me, Helmi, you cakap senang lah, simpan duit, so easy like that to save money. Do you know not? I face so much difficulty to save money. I have been trying for many years itself. Tak boleh pernah simpan duit lah. I really cannot save money itself. So the thing here is that the key to create a habit itself, right, is to start with something. To
Yep.
start with something. And so like one of the techniques that I share with my clients itself, right, is this budgeting concept lah, called the 50-30-20 rule. If I
Yeah.
can share now, right, the
Yep.
50-30-20 rule. Right, so example, you earn your income lah. I just make it as simple as possible, $1,000. You earn $1,000, just an example. And so 50-30-20 rule. And
Yep.
50% of your income is to spend on what? Is to spend on your needs, like
Needs
your
lah.
food every day. Every day you need to eat. On your what, like your what you call that? Your housing installment, like your insurance. All
Necessities
this.
lah. Bills,
Exactly.
and stuff lah.
Exactly. 50% of the needs. And then the 30%, right, is on the wants. Wants are like what? Like example, if you need to dine out at expensive restaurants. But now, of course, lah, because of the
Yalah, yalah.
COVID-19 situation, we cannot go out. So,
Yeah.
save. Situ dah simpan duit, save really. Or if like what? Once, like you want to like you want to go out for holidays or what lah. That one is
Yeah.
considered once lah, 30%. But again, now also you cannot go holiday. In fact, I
Correct.
think both of us are aware lah. If you leave Singapore right now, you are no longer covered under MediShield Life or under your private hospital insurance plan. If you
Yeah.
are if kena corona lah, back to Singapore itself. So we are not.
Yeah.
So from there we are able to save already. And 20%, right, is for us to save for our emergency funds for any other purpose, or even paying off
Yeah.
our loans, right? So you
Yeah.
have to remember, simply, because some people say, Helmi, there are so many concepts out there, like what T-half hacker, money jar, what so many concepts lah. Oh, I also get confused, don't know which one to apply lah. So just remember, 50, 30, 20. 50% of your income is for your what? For your needs. And 30% is for your wants. And 20% is for savings. And make it consistently. Of course, some people say, it's so difficult. There's a Malay proverb that say, ala bisa, tegal biasa.
Yeah.
At first, you want to do anything, very difficult lah, of course lah. You want to ride bicycle last time, so many times fall down, right? But do you give up? Yeah, you will, subsequently, you will
Correct.
rise up back and try again and again. And then now, Alhamdulillah, so simple already to ride a bicycle. And so similar to creating a habit, a personal habit towards
Yep.
saving money. At first, everybody also face challenges to do savings. But as you do it consistently, right, istiqamah, you're going to start realize that, actually, this is so easy, so simple.
Yeah.
And always remember why you are doing something, like your big why. This is something that
Correct.
I always share. The motivation behind why you do something. Or why I need to save for my emergency funds. Because why? Because if I fall sick,
Correct.
then how? Or if my family member falls sick, then how? Want to visit the doctor, you must give money, bukan daun, you cannot plug anywhere and give the doctor money, the doctor leave. And you have to what? You have to start somewhere. And I totally agree with you that habits need to be healthy money habits and need to be implemented since young lah. Yeah.
So I mean, I just want to reiterate. I mean, whatever you said is exactly true. I agree. But there's 3 words I use here that macam to reinforce each other. Is number 1 is mindset. Mindset comes with discipline, and of course, again, habit. Because I mean, for example, I've met some of the clients, or just generally anyone. I mean, people know they need to save, right? People know they need to. When you say needs versus wants, it's kind of a common concept. But the most difficult thing to do is the mindset and the habit, because if just to understand without practicing it, getting used to it, familiarizing, then you won't get anywhere. You won't have your emergency fund set. I mean, I have clients after 2-3 years masih tak ada emergency funds, tapi they really well understand what is emergency fund. It's just it's hard to maintain that discipline. So I have, on the other side, there are people. I'm not saying there's always 2 sides of the coin. I mean, there's also a lot of people that macam they naturally have this habit that now comes right. I always ask them, are you the person who once you get your income, you save first or you spend first?
Yes.
Yeah, so macam some save, no matter what, they save a certain amount, and then they don't tap it. The savings, they don't touch it. So they know that, okay, I'm left with this amount, and I split between my needs and my wants. So at the end of the day, okay, like you said, of course, I can understand people, some of our clients or friends, they are confused. It's just that you have to have a strategy, something like have a strategy and follow that strategy throughout without fail.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Agree
correct. So, I mean, this is a very good sharing. And the thing is, macam, the other thing I just want to touch on is that, okay, so how, I'm always saying that, okay, once you have a cash flow strategy or budgeting strategy, the next thing is that, how often do you review your budgeting or your cash flow? That's another question.
Correct.
So, maybe you have your advice, tapi what I normally say, macam sekarang, of course, we are here because I think of the crisis, and what I think we can customize, or our viewers want to know is that in a crisis sekarang, don't talk about normal months when you get a normal paying income lah. When our income is still okay. So sekarang let's say, okay, maybe my income is affected, or whatever situation you are in, with whatever amount you have now, is still coming back to what I will tell them is that you have to review at this point, what are your finances, your cash flow. Because before circuit breaker, or before this pandemic, now in the pandemic, and after, it's all are different situations. Definitely expenses will be different, right? So I let them know, for example, this is what I think would be good. At least once in 2 weeks, you need to look exactly at your cash flow and really manage it by the dollar, by the cent. Put aside lah whether you have emergency fund or not lah. You know, so whatever you have earning right now, lesser or the same, still coming back to the basic habit of reviewing your cash flow, looking at okay, what you should prioritize. Because I believe in a crisis, definitely there are some expenses that you can cut down. Macam okay lah, let's just give an example macam okay, because you say let's talk about necessities, for example, basically food that you feed yourself and your family, right? Macam maybe before COVID-19 you are used to, you know, cook at home and eat home food. Some of you guys or some of us, we order delivery, you know, and food, and macam we used to have macam a liking to order this type of food, tapi in a crisis, definitely, you know, basic instinct tells you that okay, now is a time for you to really ration or basically look back and review, am I able to still order what I need? But my advice is, if you still can, try to reduce as well. Why? Because you don't know when is the crisis going to end. Correct.
Betul.
You know, faham tak? Maknanya is the little things it makes a lot of difference. Macam kalau let's say you always cooking, like normally you buy, normally I don't think people buy onion in a very big bag in bulk unless they are working at the hawker center, they need to serve food to the public. But when you are cooking at home, right, I think probably after looking at your finances, your current budget, okay, you can can do, maybe buy in bulk because it's cheaper. Of course, buy in bulk accordingly lah. Don't buy in bulk like can last one whole year lah. That's like a bit too much lah. Maybe can last month by month, because compared to you buying bit by bit, that bag of onions is definitely much cheaper. So simple basic things, I think we know, is just that apa tau, macam need someone to remind, and someone to our families and friends to actually, or even ourselves to know that actually it's about surviving. So when you want to survive, last time if I give you a basket of food items, and I tell you okay, you cannot buy anymore, this is only what you have that can last you for 3 months. What do? You ration, right? Macam okay, tak apa, I have a family of 3. So today we cut, okay, we take a portion of it, I calculate, okay, maybe I divide into 3 months worth of to survive. So maybe you ration this bit so that you can survive. That's the point. It's similarly as how we talk about finance or money. I mean,
budgeting
just sharing
is important
lah.
Budgeting is important. I fully agree with you itself lah. Because I mean, in the course of us doing financial planning for our clients, right, there's one simple thing that we do here is that it's something very simple, but something very powerful. And we help them to draft up their cash flow statement. And a bit on your point itself, right, what I share with my clients, right, we have outflow. But outflow is divided into two. One is called fixed outflow. The other one is called variable outflow. Fixed outflow is something that we cannot control. Every month, definitely, there will be that kind of outflow. But there are things that we can control. Focus on things that you can control, like what you mentioned earlier about the food. All right, food are variable outflow. These are some things that you can control. You can choose if you choose like me, of course, now on my iftar, I order from outside. We can choose the expensive one, the high-end one, or we can choose the more affordable one. These are things that we can control. And so focus on the variable outflow. And from my experience, right, as a financial consultant, when I help my clients to draft their cash flow statement, right, and just by reducing their variable outflow by 10%, mashallah, alhamdulillah, tabarakallah, they manage to save $100 easily. And that cash flow statement, right, is super
bro,
powerful.
wait, $100 if you can save, imagine
Yeah,
for every month, it's a lot of difference, right?
exactly. Correct.
By doing
Yes.
a simple tweak in your cash flow lah, or
Yes,
habit lah.
yes. 10% je. 10% bro. 10%. A bit je. Yeah. So you say just now, what's the topic again? Just now, financially sustainable.
Yeah,
Definitely. Just by reducing 10% of your variable outflow, you can be financially sustainable in
yeah,
this crisis. Not just this crisis lah, for the entire
correct,
of your life lah, inshallah.
correct,
Boleh
correct.
je. Yes, yes. Mm-mm.
I mean that's kind of the fundamentals I think that we share about. I mean like what I was thinking. I mean
Mm.
before this IG live, I was thinking
Yeah.
macam what our viewers really, what is a common issue now. Okay, so we established that okay, we don't talk about before COVID-19 or maybe after.
Mm.
We talk about current.
Yeah.
So especially for those who are trying to find out, okay, how are my income affected? Tak ada
Mm-mm-mm.
savings, no savings. So what can I do? So the thing is, we are just trying to share what are the little tweaks or
Yes,
tips
yes.
that to
Correct.
just make you tide over at least for this current moment. Because
Yes.
trust me, I mean, it's really a matter how you look at it. Because
Correct.
what you shared, $100. $100 in a crisis, it can mean
Mm-mm-mm.
like $1,000.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
where maybe your
2 weeks,
$100 in a normal month, maybe tak banyak, okay lah $100. Tapi
for me,
I
2 weeks, bro.
understand.
2 weeks
Correct.
of
So it's
grocery supply.
correct. Is how the perspective of that current individual lah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
macam okay. So we don't want to touch more on the incentives. Like I say, incentives is bonus. I take it as bonuses
Yes,
that okay,
yes.
you have this habit of reviewing your cash flow maybe once in 2 weeks lah, once a month. Then baru you can talk about okay, if I get an incentive, the government gives me
Mm,
600 lah, 3,000 lah,
yes.
whatever. It won't be a
Mm-mm-mm.
problem because you will know how to divide it, or what we call
Correct.
allocate your income
Mm-mm.
to all the different baskets. Like I said,
Yes,
needs and wants and savings,
yes.
or
Correct,
variable output, fixed output and stuff like that. So
correct,
sekarang,
correct.
okay, the next thing is that I think, coming back is that what are the other tips we can share beyond just emergency funds and cash flow.
Yeah,
Pasal I think that
yes,
is
yes.
fundamentally main. Tapi macam,
Mm.
what are the things maybe you might have shared or are sharing currently with your clients right now? Yeah,
Yes,
macam,
yes.
or maybe those yang macam tak really
Mm-mm.
affected. Should they be concerned? You know,
Okay, I mean,
because okay, we talk about those macam affected. Sekarang, what if the viewers here, my income is okay. I
okay,
have even
okay.
clients that
Okay, okay.
they still get increments tau during the crisis.
Alhamdulillah.
Which is
Yes,
good,
yes.
Alhamdulillah. And they get
Yes, yes.
bonuses. I was like, bro, you are
Alhamdulillah.
on the Alhamdulillah lucky side, your rezeki. Tapi what
Mm-mm-mm.
does that mean? Should they be macam, oh okay lah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not affected, so I
Okay,
shouldn't be
okay,
worried. So what
okay.
would you say to these people?
Okay,
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah lah. Kan, if you are blessed
yeah,
again with a job or what. I mean, for me,
yeah,
I'm blessed lah. Like for now, I mean, even out there, right? Yeah, people are facing a lot of challenges out
yeah,
there. To me, at least today, I'm grateful lah because at least I have a job that I'm passionate about and that I like to do every day. I wake up early every morning. Masya Allah, Alhamdulillah. I can
Alhamdulillah.
still carry on with my life itself lah. And it is something good
Mm,
lah. Okay? So for those who are right now not affected, right? Actually, this crisis actually present an opportunity and for you
yeah,
to enhance your finance further itself. To enhance your
mm-hmm,
finance further. Of course, when I mentioned that you're financially okay means you have your emergency funds lah. 3 to 6 months
yeah,
must have lah. That one confirm must have lah. And then yeah, your job also do okay lah. And don't be too comfortable lah because now most of us we are working at home. So some people say yeah, I work at home. I still got my pay. I treat this circuit breaker as my currently I'm on a holidays or what lah. Don't behave that way.
mm,
Don't behave that way. Don't because you are too comfortable. You say yeah,
uh,
my income still coming in right to my
mm,
bank account every month. And then I can just work at home. I can relax here and there. I don't have that type of mindset lah.
yeah,
And because again, we don't know how long this crisis, this health crisis, will occur. All right. So what I advise for those doing financially okay and those who have a job, right, and then you're working from home, right, is that
yeah,
continue to add value to your employers. Because why? Because I have a lot of business clients, right?
mm,
Their businesses are affected. and they are not making profits, or even they are making losses. And the thing here about making losses, right? Sometimes employers, they want to cut costs. And so when they want to
Yes,
cut costs,
yes.
one of the things here is that they want to cut, is they want to cut the employees that they feel redundant. I think this employee no need really. We just remove or terminate his or her service. Right? So one advice for those who are doing financially okay right now, okay, is continue to maintain your emergency funds. And then the second thing here, don't get too comfortable, and make sure you continue to add value to your employers. All right? Because why? Because you won't know. Right? If suddenly you feel you're okay, then suddenly the company feel they are not doing okay, and then they need to terminate service. Yeah, and if you like haphazardly do your job because you're too comfortable, you might be in the first position to get yourself terminated. And this is the second part. And the third part, right? This, okay, I think you might have heard of this before. Every crisis also presents an opportunity. And
Yeah, yeah.
this is the first time, in the history where actually, if you were to see US market Dow Jones, right? Like the drop by 30% is only like within
Yeah,
1 week. Yeah,
correct,
the first
correct.
time, the fastest in the history. And so,
Yep.
like for most of my clients who are doing, Alhamdulillah, doing financially okay, right? This is where I recommend them to do a periodic top up to buy funds at very cheap price basically Sharia compliant funds. Even personally for myself, not just topping up
Yep.
into our own existing portfolio of Sharia compliant funds. I'm also
Yep.
looking at Sharia compliant stocks because basically now all the investment funds or all the Sharia compliant stocks are now is like having a great sale. But again, one caution I have to add on here. One
Yep.
caution here is that anything you do, you need to have ilmu. You need to have ilmu. If you don't have ilmu, and the stock market is the fastest way for you to burn your money away. And so,
Yeah.
approach only when you have ilmu. But if you don't have much, right, you can always approach people like Hefni or people like myself, right? We are in the line. We know what's happening in the market, right? So we can provide you with accurate financial advice and Islamic financial planning advice in your current situation. We'll analyze your current cash flow. We analyze your current financial ratios, all that. We will analyze how consistent are you in terms of your saving aspect. We will analyze
Yeah.
your risk profile. We will analyze your financial objective, your
Yes.
liquidity, your affordability, your investment time horizon, your risk profile, all that prior to recommending any financial instruments. And what's the entry point, the exit point, all that. And we will recommend you accordingly itself. Right?
Yep.
So for those who are doing financially okay, just three things. The first thing, make sure maintain your 3 to 6 months emergency fund must be okay. The second thing, don't get too comfortable.
Yep.
Your work
Yep.
at home right now is not holiday. You're still working. Okay, continue to add value. Continue to add value to your employer. Right? And because why? Because you don't want to be seen as redundant. Companies, most
Yep.
of them are affected right
Of
now.
course. Of
They
course.
are affected right now. I mean, if they find you redundant, then you'll be the first person for them to
Yeah. Of
terminate,
course.
right? Yeah. So that's the second thing, and the third thing here is that now is a good time for you to start entering the market, but only do that if you have the knowledge. If you don't have
Correct.
much or you have a little bit, you can always meet Hefni or meet myself or meet any financial consultants out there to help you, to guide you to plan your finance the Sharia compliant way in Singapore. Yes, Hefni.
Wow, bro. I think you kind of sum up quite at length and on point lah. So I just wanna just give a little bit before we end. I think
Yeah.
it's there's at least about 40 minutes lah.
Mm-mm.
So okay, last but not least, I think all of this is still I would take it the takeaway here is that if I mean at this crisis or not, the point here is that we have to start our own habits properly,
Correct.
proper good positive habits, and have that discipline to actually have a strategy so that we are not being trapped in the cycle in and out as how our
Yes.
forefathers have gone through,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you can't avoid this crisis. Like you said, it can be every 10 years once, it can be even every 5 years, who knows,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when we're in a crisis, you don't know how long it lasts, so the
Correct.
best is always to have a disciplined strategy lah. That's how I
Correct.
put it lah. So I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
aside from what
True.
you have
True.
been saying, so I think when you have a habit, you have awareness, you have the
Yes.
knowledge of
Yeah.
managing your personal finance. I
Yeah.
think we shouldn't be facing any much issue, regardless whether
Correct.
there's a crisis or not.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
think we've
Yeah. I
shared
have. I
quite
have.
a
I have
yeah.
one last
Can
advice, lah.
sure
One
sure
last advice for everyone out there. I mean, this is one advice that I always give to all my clients, lah. And when you face problems, right? focus 90% of your energy on the solution. Like just now you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Focus
Yep.
on your variable
Yep.
outflow, focus on the solution. In Malay, like I say this, economy lembab, tak apa.
Mm.
Tapi jangan otak kita lembab sebab fokus pada masalah. Fokus pada
Oh.
solution. Yes, so focus your 90% of your energy on solution. What can I do today to ensure that my financial is okay for the next 12 months, for me to be financially sustainable in this crisis. So
Yep.
focus on what you can do and don't focus on what is beyond your control. And that's my
Of
advice.
course. Of course. Yeah. Bro, I
All right.
think
Yeah.
wow, this is a great sharing, lah, bro. I think
All right.
inshallah we can meet again somewhere in
Inshallah.
the live video in the future. Pasal I think
Inshallah.
this topic is fundamental, but I think there's a lot more that we can explore.
Correct.
Financially lah. So I think there's so if you guys need the viewers here, thanks again for watching. I mean, from Helmi Hakim's followers or Ascent Islamic, you guys can follow us. If you guys just even need a basic knowledge or help assistance in terms of how to actually have a proper good cash flow strategy, you guys can approach us lah. Yeah,
Yes,
so we
inshallah.
are practitioners in the field. We have been dealing with this, I think, for at least a few years. For like Helmi, he's like beyond 10 years, I believe, your experience in the industry lah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Since
alhamdulillah.
2007.
So I think thanks guys again for our viewers, and thanks Helmi especially, special guest for today. So
Thanks for your invitation. Thanks, Ascent
no worries.
Islamic, for
So
inviting.
to our Muslim brothers sisters, Ramadan Kareem, okay, so we see you guys again soon. Inshallah. Thanks.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Bye bye. Salam.
Yep.